Annoying snoring, dangerous for your health. Now then, we always talk about men snoring, but did you know that sleep apnea is also very common among women? It is in reality very common and at the same time dangerous. You must not overlook this fact. There are many women who sleep with some type of distress, fearing to bother their partner with their snoring, and at the same time, they are aware that snoring always leads to lack of rest, irritability, and a headache in the morning. What can we do to free ourselves of the misery of annoying snoring? Snoring in our daily life. At least 20 of all people snore during the night. And as we know, sometimes this becomes a reason for the quarreling among couples, especially if one of them refuses to admit he or she does snore while knowing that they do, or avoids giving importance to a problem that goes beyond just a simple nighttime bother. A person who snores loudly and does so every night gets up tired, and not only this, they also have frequent headaches, physical discomfort, irritability, stress, increased blood pressure, and realities that, little by little, can give room to illnesses which are much more serious if help is not sought, and above all, if we refuse to acknowledge that snoring is not normal and not just something that everyone does every night. Do you know what causes that annoying snoring? Snoring is a sign that something is happening in our body. By snoring, we lose an excess of energy that directly affects our daily lives. In fact, many doctors call snoring the internal fever, that is, they consider it an indicator of our health. Snoring is caused by a narrowing of the airway to the lungs, causing less oxygen to enter and producing what is known as hypoxia. Due to there not being enough air, a vibration occurs, which produces that annoying sound. If at some moment there is not enough air entering the lungs, which is what happens when we stop breathing for just a fraction of time, it causes what is known as sleep apnea. Generally, the reasons why we snore is because of the sleep apnea disorder. However, it can also be due to the presence of polyps, the anatomy of the nasal septum or palate, or even allergies. If it is something constant, it is necessary to consult a doctor to get an appropriate diagnosis. Sleep apnea is not just anything. We have to keep in mind that our lungs stop receiving oxygen and that the brain must order the respiratory muscles to make an extra effort to obtain air. And this is where the louder and sudden sounds originate. In the long run, sleep apnea can become chronic and end up causing us to suffer from hypertension, heart failure, type 2 diabetes, and may even be the cause of many strokes. Never should we forget that our body, our brain, and our heart stop receiving oxygen for several seconds. This is very serious. Tips to reduce snoring at night. First, there is something you must keep clear in mind: snoring is a symptom that something is not right. Snoring every night upon going to sleep at night is not the same as snoring for a week because you have a cold or allergies, or snoring while taking a nap in the middle of the day. Consult with your doctor if you or your partner have been snoring for some time. If you are diagnosed with sleep apnea, it is important that you following each of the suggestions that you are prescribed. Now then, if your snoring is light and occasional, you only need to put into practice the following basic tips. Note: always watch your weight, especially since obesity always causes snoring in the night. If you smoke, stop doing so immediately. The obstruction of the airways can be a consequence of tobacco, and thus snoring, coughing and ill health. Always sleep on your side. A very simple technique to make sure you do so is to put a tennis ball in the back of your pajamas. In this way, whenever you turn onto your back, you will feel this annoying bump and you will turn to your side again. Keep a set schedule for eating and for going to bed. Routine is good for our body. Keep well hydrated throughout the day. Drink lots of water and use the normal saline solution if it is necessary to decongest the nose. The nasal mucosa will not be so dry and you will not snore. Change your pillow regularly. Sometimes the accumulation of mites can cause allergies or dry out your airways. It's worth keeping this in mind.